Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to talk about why I think artists should stay away from Instagram, while I draw these figures referencing the Charles Bargue Plates. As you may have seen, my Instagram account, Practice Drawing This, has almost 38,000 followers. It used to be slightly over 39,000 even. I started the account because I wanted to understand how social media works. How do you attract attention to your work? I think I have an idea now as to how social media works. I started with story illustrations, Joseph Clement Cole illustrations I had re-inked, but soon I discovered that people who started to follow me were also artists and trying to get better at it. So I started posting art tutorial carousels. These did incredibly well. People liked them, forwarded them, bookmarked them, looked at them for a longer time to study the tutorial, and also the fact that it was a carousel with multiple slides made people look at the post longer, and all of this told the algorithm that there were people who liked my posts. In addition, large tutorial accounts stole my posts and reposted them on their accounts. They could become large because they posted multiple art tutorials a day, and the algorithm rewards you for posting frequently. Fortunately, these accounts credited me, and so these accounts also sent other people who were interested to my Instagram account. I also only followed art tutorial accounts, only commented on art tutorials, only replied to comments on art tutorials, and eventually the algorithm figured out that people who were interested in art tutorials were interested in my posts, and it started showing my posts on their explore pages. The Explore page is where people can go to find other posts which are similar to the ones they already like. I did not use hashtags. On an earlier account I had found it really hard to get hashtags to work for me, and my hypothesis was that Instagram actively tries to work against people who try to growth hack. And so I tried to do as little as I could that could look like growth hacking. You use hashtags to grow, so I didn't use these. I also commented and followed very little, because that is what people typically do when they try to growth hack. And it seems that Instagram rewarded me for that by showing my posts to many people on their Explore pages. And things just took off from there. I had 30,000 followers in a half year. But I could not keep up with the pace, as it takes me more than a day to create a tutorial. That is just not sustainable if you want to post daily. So I switched to drawing exercises because I could make a few of these every day, but also because it meant I would have to do these exercises also myself. And I hoped it would help people get off social media addictions and open their sketchbooks instead and do one of my drawing exercises. One drawing exercise post did really well. It was a drawing from memory exercise of a side view of an eye. The thing was, the post got a lot of comments from people asking what it was. They could not tell what it was. People were probably looking at it for a long time, trying to figure out what it was, and this seems to have caused the algorithm to think that people really liked that post. I got complaints from people that Instagram was showing multiple posts of mine on their Explore page. In the end, Instagram showed this post to more than 500,000 people. But then you had these moments where there would be a tremendous drop in engagement, and I could not figure out what had happened. Had I done something wrong? I started working harder to make my posts even better, but that didn't help, and each time as I was close to the point of giving up, engagement would pick up again. I have never been in a toxic relationship, but I can imagine it being like that. Someone lavishes you with love and praise and then suddenly gives you the cold shoulder. And just as you are about to leave, the other pleads that they have changed and that this time it will all be better, it will all be different, and you stay. And it all works to get you onto a treadmill, putting everything you have into each post. You need to make silly amounts of content to keep it going. When I took a break, I realized that 1 month of Instagram post captions is equivalent to a half year of newsletters emails. You should not send out a newsletter more than once a week. The daily Instagram captions had to be on that level. And it is silly if you think about it. The algorithm decides if people get to see your post, and even if you put a lot of work into it, very few people may end up seeing it anyway. For these YouTube videos, I actually have to write quite a lot also, but it's only once a week for the weekly video, and people can find the video through Google. It somehow feels like I'm getting more from it. It got to a point where it was not useful for me anymore to post on Instagram. Followers who liked my drawing exercises were already subscribed to my newsletter, see link in the description by the way, and Instagram was not showing my posts to new people so much anymore. Why waste my time making posts just for this platform? Then, suddenly, the platform made Reels more important and it put its shop front and center. It is as if this edgy and cool microblogging platform had changed into a cold shopping mall from one moment to the next. And I don't know about you, but I feel weird about hanging my art in a shopping mall. It was just suddenly a different thing. Also, it started showing way more ads on your feed. The Explore page, which had been so helpful for my growth, was now hidden somewhat. That's when I decided to get off the treadmill. The platform was just not that useful for me anymore. And I have been feeling so much better after that. YouTube is different. YouTube is like a blog. The videos you create are out there on the internet and can be accessed by people for many years. Instagram posts are not that. They are locked into their platform, which is why I'm also now trying to build up this YouTube channel. I love it. I love drawing, filming myself drawing. My practice drawings become YouTube videos, 2 for the price of 1. It is still a good idea to have a social media account, but you should have your own website which you own, and you should put your best work on there and show some of it on social media also. That was one mistake I ended up making. My content was Instagram first. I tried to keep up with a daily schedule, making good posts and then figuring out what I could also do with that. Now I work the other way around. I make things for my blog and my YouTube channel, which is essentially also a blog, a video blog, and then I figure out what else I can do with that. I can post videos and the drawings on other platforms also. Also, because the algorithm is so demanding, you don't have room to experiment, artistically speaking, to try things out. You have to produce and end up publishing everything you make, whether it is ready or not, and sometimes you publish it multiple times on multiple platforms. This is a great way to deal with social media, by the way. Make content for your website first and then tailor it to the different platforms. Use the right image formats for the different platforms, etc. That way you can make one thing and make it go a long way by using it for posts on many different platforms. But in the past, artists had room to develop their art before showing their work to the world. Now we show everything, each little thing we make, because the algorithm rewards volume. Because of social media, there is no room anymore to develop your art in private, unless you go off these platforms, of course. Another thing is that these platforms invite you to compare yourself against others. Do I get as many likes? Do I have as many followers? And it is never enough. There is always someone with more followers. I read the story about a rich man who lived in New York on 5th Avenue, I think, and he felt poor because all the people who lived around him were wealthier. There is always someone with more likes per post. There is always someone with more followers. You should not be comparing yourself to other artists. But you should be comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday. Has your art improved? By all means, be inspired by other artists, but don't compare yourself to them. And social media platforms invite you to do just that. Follower count is just a vanity metric. It is ultimately meaningless. I stopped posting for 2 months and I don't think anyone noticed. Instagram shows these people other posts instead. Blogs are way more flexible. This is true of YouTube also. You can just decide on form and length. Instagram has all these limits, 10 slides per post. Social media platforms crop images in interesting ways sometimes. You don't have any of that on your own blog. In addition, blog posts can be evergreens, relevant still years from now and findable in search engines. They say that every author's first novel is an autobiography. Apparently, writers have to get that out of the system. This early YouTube post may be that, my social media memoir, my brush with Instagram. Now, I am still on Instagram, am I not? Well, yes and no. I still post on Instagram, but just not daily anymore. You can still use Instagram to show a part of your portfolio, as it can be a place where people search for you, and an account is free. You can still use it to find and check out artists who you admire, but try to avoid playing the numbers game, because you cannot win and it will put you in a bad place. You are better off focusing on your art. Let me put it like this. 10 years from now, Instagram will have evolved into an online shopping mall and the microblogging aspect of it all disappeared. You are not actually building something there, it is a rented land. Build your website instead. That stands a chance of still being there as long as you pay for the server space. But even there are free options. My schedule for this year is to draw a lot, but to focus more on practice, filling sketchbooks, so to speak, while filming myself doing that, and writing rambling pieces which I can post on my blog or use for narration under my YouTubes. I will post announcements on my Instagram still, but I'm very much looking forward to creating videos on YouTube. It is actually more fun than I had anticipated, and I am learning a lot. Maybe more on that later. So, back to full-time drawing it is for me. Regarding the drawing tutorials, you should not be looking at them on Instagram anyway. You should be drawing. Open a sketchbook and draw with me. That is the only way you get better at drawing, really. As you can see in this video, I am drawing with blue pencil from Pentel and then inking with a thin line, just a Muji pen. I love these. I currently like to sketch that way. I cannot Kim Jong-gi things yet. I need to make an underlying sketch to get the proportions right, but it is best to leave the actual rendering to the inking stage to keep it fresh, lively and direct. Your first response to the subject, and blue pencil can easily be filtered out on a computer. Thank you for watching and listening.